Hello everyone, and this is my review for WWE NXT on June the 15th, 2016. And, you know, this is, of course, the fallout from the Takeover, the In special that happened 1 week ago. So, how do they start off the show? How do they start off the show this week? Well, one, they did go through a very good promo package throughout the entire, going over the entire show in general. Good promo package. They're very good on making these video packages for shows and for, you know, their specials and everything like that. So, you know, nothing new there. So they started off the show with Paul Ellering and the Authors of Pain. Basically getting their debut match, and we get a full-on name for them. I think Triple H, after the show, had made mention to calling them the Authors of Pain, but now you get a full-on confirmation. This is going to be their name and everything. Really quick match, nothing. I wouldn't say nothing special, but you know, basically the Authors of Pain showing off some really good moves. Squash match, nothing special in that sense. Nothing like we're saying, oh, this match is good, or this match was great, or anything like that, because, well, they just started building these guys. And you did have someone backstage trying to get a quick interview in. Obviously, the Authors of Pain just kind of, the two big guys just walked right on by. Paul Ellering just made a very simple statement that, like, when she was trying to get a little bit more information, was like, not quite yet, and kind of walks off. I love Paul Ellering. I remember him back in the day, and his he spent very little time with WWF back then with the Road Warriors, but he managed the Road Warriors before they became, before they had come over to WWF side. He did spend some time over there. He is a very good promo, and very interesting. And it's interesting that he decided not to go with like his staple. Though, what would he go with now? Because the staple way back when was always having a Wall Street Journal, like he was a businessman style. He always had a Wall Street Journal with him. What would he go with? Honestly, maybe he should carry around an iPad that has the Wall Street Journal on it, or something like that. That would be interesting if he would go that full-on route. But he always had a rolled-up Wall Street Journal in his hand way back when. So we'll see if he has something that he'll usually carry around. Nothing that he was going with this time around. So we'll see where they go with everything there. You had a Cena Moss and a Ty Dillinger backstage promo. You know, almost basically saying how excited he was about, you know, the Takeover special and how he had won his match, and Dillinger basically challenging him to another one. Actually, relatively good promo from both sides here. Almas wasn't too hard to fully understand, and, well, Ty Dillinger is Ty Dillinger now. Like, he's playing off this perfect 10 gimmick very, very well, and his promos are actually coming off rather good as well. So that promo happened. The challenge was set, and then the match was made later in the night. Basic fare from the NXT Takeover special between the two of them. Pretty good match from both sides. Almas goes over in this case. He's doing pretty well in the ring, though. It's insane how over Ty Dillinger is, and they don't make this guy win all that often. I would like to see them have him win a little bit more often now, because of how, you know, he's building up there, and we'll see how long he can keep that going. So, like I said, we'll see where everything goes with that one. Carmella and Tessa Blanchard had a match. Decent match here. Carmella is getting a lot better in the ring, though she's not completely fluid with every bit of her moveset yet. But she's getting a lot better inside of the ring, and she is, and she's, you know, always been at least decent on the microphone. Doesn't do too much more other than her initial entrance, which was, you know, kind of, I won't say stolen, but kind of copied off of Enzo's entrance as well. But she is definitely over with the crowd and she's definitely showing signs of improvement in the ring. Tessa Blanchard worked as a heel here. Not too bad with her heel work. I know she worked as a heel briefly during her time beforehand, so she has at least a little bit of experience with that as well. So not a bad match here. They are definitely improving, so we'll see where everything goes with that and see if they start building a storyline of Carmella becoming a little bit more of a little bit bigger of a threat towards the women's title in some way, shape, or form. Blake and Murphy had a backstage promo. Not a bad promo. Basically, them trying to give it another shot at this at the whole tag team thing. Everybody had felt like it's like they're ending this in some way, shape, or form, and honestly, they probably are. You had them basically say it was like, oh, it was all Alexa because we were the tag team champions before she came in, and now that we lost them, she's gone. Okay, whatever. So they had a match with TM61, or I guess they can't call him TM61 for whatever reason, but TM61. The match itself was actually a decent match. I liked what they showed from TM61. Blake and Murphy were doing a good job of basically showing that they were a little bit, they were still semi on the same page, but dysfunctional in the end of everything. And it showed towards the end of the match where, they both kind of had a couple miscues and it cost them the match. You have Murphy getting on Blake's case the entire time at the end of the match when TM61 was celebrating their win. All in all, not a bad bit here. Not a bad match. And we'll obviously potentially see something between Blake and Murphy here in the very near future, I think. But it's going to be an aspect of who works the face and who works the heel. You would almost think maybe Murphy works the heel because he's getting overly frustrated and everything. And maybe Blake will work a face. We'll see where they go with this. Up next, obviously I'd already gone over the main event match with Ty Dillinger and Almas. But up next were a couple other promos. Bayley had a backstage promo, and honestly, Bayley, if there was ever one thing that I would consider a little bit weak on Bayley, was her promo. It always felt like she was working off of a script in some way, shape, or form. This promo that she did, and it was basically saying that, she was going to get potentially medically cleared the next week. If she was going to go see a doctor, if she gets cleared, she was going to be back in the ring right that time. And this one just felt like it was unscripted. Like you can tell that. You could tell the character is she was getting she was getting excited. She wanted to get back in the ring, get back into everything. This promo came off a lot better than most of our other promos. So she's getting a bit better on that side of everything. Though character-wise, this character is crazy over, and for good reason too. They've done a lot with video packages and other promos back in the day. Like I said, some of her promos recently have not been so good, but this one came off a lot better in this case. So it was good to see a far better promo this week from Bayley than what I had seen in that I had seen in the past. And up next, which ended the night, was Finn Balor coming out, and he was cutting a promo. It was and the one crazy thing is that he had to say it 3 different times. It's what is next for Finn Balor? And what ended up being next? He was playing off of the crowd the entire time. This was great. I liked how he played off the crowd. He would even he was playing off of their chants, and then eventually did "Too Sweet" sign, and he got the crowd to start chanting "Too Sweet." They were chanting the Start Balor Club at some point in time. So the last time he says, "What is next for Finn Balor?" Who interrupts him but Shinsuke Nakamura? And may I say, the place lost their minds when Shinsuke came out. Shinsuke Nakamura has always been big, since he's come over to NXT. He was big in New Japan Pro Wrestling as well. But, the fact that you have Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura, two people who I don't think they worked together in New Japan. They might have. I'm not 100% on that. I have not really gotten to watch New Japan all that much. But they had done stuff with the Bullet Club at the same time in the past. So they both had done something with the Bullet Club in the past with New Japan, and now they're both here in the same ring. Kind of got people extremely excited. Shinsuke cuts a promo basically saying, he wants to be NXT champion, and he puts over Finn by he watched Finn while he was in Japan become an icon, and though he's not the champion, he's still an icon in NXT. And in order for him to need to become NXT champion, he needs to beat that icon. He needs to beat Finn Balor. First of all, Shinsuke's charisma just it takes over the fact that his English is not perfect, but it just takes over the aspect. His timing and charisma portions overlay that, and you still get the promos in all aspects here. So basically, he challenges Finn Balor. They shake on it, and you go with an aspect of Finn knows where he's going next. He has Shinsuke Nakamura to face here in the very near future. So we'll see where they go with everything. And when they actually do these matches, there's a chance that Finn might be pulling double duty here very soon, where he's doing main roster stuff, but he's also doing stuff in NXT with Shinsuke Nakamura, because this one cries to be a Takeover Brooklyn match in some way. Now, and it leaves to be like, who's going to be facing Samoa Joe at NXT Takeover, because they've got like this huge match made with them, and obviously Finn and Joe, that storyline was already done, and they can't do that because he's going to be working with Shinsuke. Like, where do you go with Samoa Joe right now? Because he also cut a pretty good promo about him being like the definitive NXT champion and him proving himself at Takeover the end. So overall, this was a pretty good NXT. I have to say this was a pretty good NXT. The matches for these NXT shows either are usually like squash matches, or they could be a decent match or a good match. We saw a good match here on this show, but it's a lot more about promo work and building their storylines towards the Takeover specials. And the Takeover specials are like the big payoff, and the matches are insanity at that time, at that point in time, or at least to the point of being really, really good. That's the one thing about the NXT Takeover specials, is that they're really good. I have yet to see one that has disappointed me. But not all of them are like overly great. Sometimes they're just really, really good. But that's where the payoffs come. And that's how I kind of like to watch wrestling. Is like the payoffs, they come. It's like they build, and then you have the payoff at the big show. So I would say this NXT did a pretty good job of that. And you had that moment with Shinsuke Nakamura and Finn Balor in there. You can't call a show. You can't call a show anything but at least decent or good, with that being in there to begin with. But like I said, I think they did some pretty good jobs with some promo packages in there and started some potential storylines here down the road. And we'll see where they go with everything. So that is my review for WWE NXT. I thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.